Take two, right? Let's do this. So how many of you believe that the government's actually making laws and passing legislation for the common benefit of you guys? All of you should believe that the government's trying to look out after you guys. Well, in all reality is that there's a lot of federal lobbyists out there who are trying to corrupt the government by giving them money. So today I would like to talk to you guys about federal lobbying. What federal lobbying is, the process of federal lobbying, and how much money is being spent by federal lobbyists every year. Election after election, these lobbyists basically throw money at our presidential candidates, senator candidates, any type of candidate out there who has to say in the legislative process. They throw money at them so they can get deals with companies. So, you know, let's say if you're a food company, they don't inspect your food, and you can basically rip off people more often than not. According to the Gale Encyclopedia of U.S. Economy, federal lobbying is the attempt to influence the legislation by basically bribing, giving gifts, or money. It sounds, quite illegal, right? That, the people are just giving money to, your president, saying, hey, don't pass the bill on the BP oil disaster. Let's not make a huge deal out of it, and we'll give you millions of dollars. Doesn't sound quite fair for everybody, but it's actually protected by the First Amendment of the Constitution under the right of petition, which is crazy, right? Why would somebody do something or pass a bill that would actually benefit them? And it was done by lobbying again. So lobbyists, they knew it was illegal, so they lobbied the government to make it legal. So that's basically how it works. Now, I know it's kind of be a little bit difficult to understand. So let's say you guys are a special interest group. You guys, hired me. I'm the lobbyist, right? So how many of you actually want to write the paper for this class, realistically? Really? All of you want to write it?
It's a great assignment.
Okay, so let's just pretend you guys don't want to write it, right? So you hired me, the lobbyist, and I'm going to go to Ms. Reed, and I'm like, hi, Ms. Reed, this is said here, and we're not really interested in writing this paper. But we all are nice enough that we're going to give you a check for, $1 million, and hopefully, our research paper will disappear. We're looking forward to that. Hopefully, it's not there, or we get an A, but there's $1 million for you just for that. Well, I appreciate it, and hopefully we don't see it. So that's so indirectly we're bribing her. And we're asking her not to do something. We're not telling her, Ms. Reed, I'm going to give you $1 million, just don't put it on the chest, because that's actually illegal. The government will actually, go into you and be like, oh, you can't do that. But indirectly, you can do it by donations, by little gifts, which is, crazy. You're just playing the system. But hopefully, we can lobby Ms. Reed into that to start collecting money, yes.
Yeah.
So now that we've discussed federal lobbying, let's move on to talk about the process and who is involved in the lobbying process. Basically, it's special interest groups, let's say McDonald's or any big company out there, it's a special interest group. Our second most important group here is our politicians, because if they didn't accept money, then the process wouldn't exist. And third of all, it's our lobbyists. These are the guys who are making the big money by bribing everybody else. So according to William Slaney, it's basically 50% between Democrats and Republicans. But it depends on what's going on in the government right now, like the healthcare reform that just passed by. The Democrats got a lot more money from lobbyists. Why? Because they were the ones who were encouraging the health reform. So the special interest groups, we talked about them. The three most important and business groups out there, special interest groups that are spending a lot of money. The number one is the health industry. And why? Because a lot of drug companies, basically, a lot of their drugs have side effects that, they don't want people to know about. But they still dish out millions of dollars to make it legal for us to take them and for insurance company to pay for them. And actually, it's not helping us, it's just helping them. And that's basically what it's all about. Our second one is our finance, insurance, and real estate. Why? What happened to the economy? Due to real estate issues, the whole economy, plummet down. So lobbyists dish again a lot of money, so the government wouldn't, make a big deal out of it. And our last one is our food and beverage. Once again, a lot of, like McDonald's, all their food is basically crap. And they pay millions of dollars again to the government in order for them not to be shut down, and you know, they're trying to, once again, by gifting and doing stuff like that, to kill the legislation. And now that we've discussed who is involved in our lobbying process, let's talk about how much money is actually being spent by this lobbyist. Well, last year in 2009, $3.49 billion was spent by lobbyists. That's a lot of money. And that's basically legal money. I think less money is coming out of that for drugs and actually like human trafficking and all those issues. A lot of this money is coming in to the government, to people who represent us, to basically make laws and look out for the best of us. So actually, they're getting their pockets full while we're paying for their salary, while the lobbyists are giving them more money. And it's basically unfair for everybody, but you know, it's protected by the government, right? But some of the big spenders out there are AARP, Exxon, AT&T, T-Mobile, McDonald's, Burger King, the Blue Cross and Blue Shield, and the Pharmaceutical Research and Manufacturers of America, which are actually legal, you know, companies here in the U.S. So now that we've discussed what federal lobbying is, the process, and how much money is being spent, I think it's important for everybody here to know what federal lobbying is. Why? Because we can actually make a difference. You can stand up to your government, you can go to your representatives and stop people and lobbyists and big companies on spending money on our legislation because it's actually for the benefit of us, not for the big man out there who's controlling everything. So go out there. I mean, I know it's difficult to, you know, stand up to somebody and say, no, you can't do this, but it's wrong. It's wrong for people to spend money, millions of dollars, and give them to our government for their benefit, because they're supposed to be benefiting us, not them, us. So go out there and revolt. That's a revolution, yeah.